There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me pull up the slides here and let's just get into it. So hold on, where's my present button? There we go. All right, so this might get, I'm going to try and keep it as like easy as possible, but if I do switch back and forth to also show you my phone and how to make things, sometimes that can get a little rocky, but I'm going to do my absolute best to not have any glitches or any weird situations. Let me join on my phone before I forget, but I won't connect audio or have camera. Okay, there. That way I can use my phone. If you guys need to see like how to do something on my phone, I can do that. Okay, so let's jump into stories. I want to know, how do you guys feel about stories? Give me a 1 if you're like a pro, like you love stories, you're obsessed with them. 2 if you're like, I want to be good at them, but I need more help. Or 3 if you're like, I have no clue, I don't use them, I don't even know where to start. Let me know where we're at. Okay, lots of 2s. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, this is perfect. Okay, so a lot of you like, okay, you just want to learn a bit more. So this is perfect. So we're going to get into a few things. The first thing is I'm going to give you guys some tips for how to get more views, because in turn this will help your business, of course, but these are just some simple things that you can remember to get those views up, and I'm going to go through all of them. So the first one with stories, you guys, is that you have to be consistent. You have to be, because the way stories work is that it's not like Facebook with all these weird algorithms. It's literally just whoever posted most recently goes to the front of that whole line of stories at the top. So if you are consistent and you're always adding into your stories, your picture is literally near the front, if not at the front, always. For people who check stories, you're the first person. So it's literally so important. If you go post one story, you might get views right away, but you will notice after a few hours, it literally just stalls and it will not go up because you have not added to it. So it didn't bump it ever. So I'm just gonna mute everybody. Hold on. Just gonna. I think I have to stop sharing for a second. Hold on. Just while I get everybody muted. For there you go. Okay. And I'm just gonna make it so that everybody is muted when they come in. Okay. Cool. And then while I'm here, let me just put the waiting room back on. While we're here, might as well. Okay. Back to sharing screen. Sorry about that. Now we're set. So being consistent, huge, you guys, you have to. Okay. So if you want to get those views up, actually I have a tip for this on a different slide, but it kind of makes sense to just tell you right now. Set an alarm if you have to. That's how I started really getting into stories, is I would literally set an alarm for every hour or so for a while until I got in the habit of adding to my stories. And then eventually it just got to the point where I was used to it. I knew to add to it all the time, and it was just simple. Okay. So if you have to do that, set yourself an alarm so that you remember to add to your stories. And it can be anything. Like, don't overthink it. It can literally be, like your family, food. It could be when you're shopping. I love doing it when I'm shopping and just showing random things, like, don't overthink it. I would rather post too much than not enough. Just show your life. Just say what you're doing. Okay. Just post everything. Now, the second one, use filters that you like. I know this is not me telling you you don't look good enough or anything like that, but Instagram specifically will push the people using its features, right? So if you're using filters, your stories are going to get seen more because you're using the things that Instagram is giving you. So that's why you will see a lot of creators will find one that isn't like crazy looking, but it's just a little bit flattering. It works, but it's not obvious it's a filter. Find one that you like that and use it on your videos. Or there's so many fun ones. There's ones you can get that or make it like I don't know, like a camera Polaroid and like grainy, like they're just look through them. It's so cute. And hold on, sorry, I'm just letting more people into the waiting room. And I don't recognize some of these names. So again, I will just say, if you are coming for the opportunity event, that one is in half an hour. This is for people already in the company. So if you have no idea what we're talking about, come back in half an hour. I just want to make sure, and I'm always so worried about that. I always am just like, oh my gosh, that would be so awkward if that's like not what they came for. I'm too like yellow personality sometimes. But another tip for you guys, if you see a filter that you like, so for example, if you're following somebody and you see one that they use and you like it, you can save it from their story. Okay, so I'm going to walk you guys through. Let me know if you need me to screen share, but I'm going to try to do that as little as possible just because it does get all glitchy. But let's say you're watching somebody's stories, you literally can hit the name of the filter on the top left. You will see where it says what filter they're using. You literally just click the name of that, and then it will give you the option to try it or save it. So you can hit try it and make your own story with it on the spot to see if you like it. Or if you already know you love that one, you for sure want to save it, you can just save it. So that's what I always do is I watch people's stories. And if somebody uses one that I'm like, oh, that looks so good, I just save it and I'll use it when I do mine. So that's a really big like simplicity tip for how to do that. And then use interactive things. So what I mean by that is like polls, the slider, there's like the new button where if you click the button, it sends up an emoji and you can see who clicked the button. Anything like that keeps your stories interactive as well. So people will keep watching because there's things for them to do, right? Another thing that I don't know if I put in here, no, I forgot. Another tip that kind of goes with being interactive is the sliders only on Instagram. I think I'll go more into the whole Instagram thing in a bit. But in terms of being interactive, you can also do, Pinterest has some really cute, you can literally search interactive stories and it'll give you like this or that, or would you rather, or a list of like your favorite things. And then you can like tag people, like fun things like that are really good for views as well, because people will 100% read all of like your favorite things or what you would do. Like, it's just fun. And you can even add text on it to be like, do screenshot the next slide and then tag me, and then you put a blank one right after. Those are huge. Every time I do that, people will go repost it with all of their answers and tag me in it, and it's really fun. So that's another thing for doing interactive stories as well. And like I said, Pinterest, there's so many of them. So literally just type interactive stories and you should get a ton. And if you find one you like, you just like keep scrolling through them and you can save a bunch. So I love doing that. Make your stories not spammy. So what I mean by this, okay, is try to use nice pictures in terms of them not being like blurry, like, you know, you want them bright. Use those filters, like anything you can to make it look like a nice picture, right? Like it's appealing. People would want to look at it. And a big one is then using text explaining what you're showing your audience. So many times I'll see people start trying to use stories, but then all they put on there is pictures, but there's no words. So it's like, what are you showing us? Like, what is your point? Like, you have to share why you're posting that story, right? So you will always see if you're not following me, you guys go follow my Instagram. You can see like almost all of what I'm talking about. Any picture has little text. So like, and it doesn't have to be a lot, but even just like one little line saying, you know, what you're doing or what you're excited about, like just to put a point on what you're showing them, right? And you can just make it really small and put it in one of the corners. Like, I love doing that. I will literally make my text so small. And the reason for that is because then it's not, you know, it doesn't look like an ad or like weird. Like it's cute. It makes it look like you're like trying to make it look nice, right? When you just have small words and you line it up with something on the picture or something like that, right? So always say what it is that you're sharing and why. That's really going to make your audience want to know more about it and understand what you're doing. Okay. And this last tip here, not oversharing others' content, reels / TikToks. That is really big as well for the algorithm. If you are always just sharing other people's stuff, it's not going to get seen as much. So for example, like if you're watching a reel and you're like, haha, that's funny, don't always just share it right to your story, because that's taking away from your content when you keep sending the people watching your stuff to other people. They will literally click on it, go to that person, and then they don't go back to your story. So that's literally the easiest way to lose views on your story is by putting other people's stuff in there. I forgot about it the other day. I learned the hard way. I put that as my first story of the day, which we will get into the first story in a minute. My views were horrible. I was gonna say a bad word. They were horrible that day. And so, especially on your first story, do not make it somebody else's content. Okay. Glad we got that off our chest. Another thing you guys can do though is take a day off sometimes. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it is actually really good for the algorithm. If there's ever a day where, a weekend, maybe it's a weekend and you're wanting a day off from business, but you're also not doing anything fun at all. Like I'm talking about a day where you're like on the couch in your pajamas, like there really is nothing, take the day to leave your stories blank, because then when it resets, sometimes your views can go a lot higher after they're completely empty, and then you restart your stories. I have found that so many times. If I let it go all the way empty, sometimes I'll do it like once a week, maybe, then the views skyrocket the next day. So absolutely, you can do that if you need to. Don't do it too often. By no means am I saying like every second day, don't post, like don't use it as an excuse to not be consistent. But like, on your days off, for example, I know a lot of people use Sundays as like your Sabbath. That's perfect to just be like gone, let it go, and then start again Monday. Things like that, right? But then again, make sure your first story is really good, and we will get into that. Okay, yeah, and we kind of touched on this, sharing your everyday life. So the reason I say that is because so many people overthink this, where they're like, well, I don't have anything to show. I don't have a story. My life isn't exciting. And like, people aren't always looking for exciting. They want relatable. They want to see what you're doing in a day. They want to see you, on the couch with your kids. You're working a business from home. Like, talk about that. That is exciting, but you're making money from home. Talk about it. Literally, when I go grocery shopping, somebody just texted me. I thought that was a person in the waiting room. Sorry, it wasn't. I don't know the person in the waiting room, and now it's too close. I'm like, hey, you can watch the recording. I'm sorry, I don't know who it is. Anyways, if I'm like grocery shopping, like right now, there's so much cute like Easter candy and stuff. That's the perfect time to be like, oh my gosh, look at this. Look what I found. Like, show if you're doing Easter egg hunts with your kids this weekend, show what you're setting up. Like everything, literally, I mean, everything. It might not seem exciting to you, but I'm telling you, when I just post the random things like that, that is what gets you the most views, is when you're just real. You show the funny things that you're doing, the things you find when you're shopping. If you find a really funny joke, sure, post it in your stories or something that's like inspirational, like anything, literally anything. Okay, last tip for views. If you're doing videos, is put captions on your videos. And if you're watching my stories, I totally forgot to do that. Do not use today's as an example, but it almost always will have the captions on it. And the reason for that is because if people are watching your stories, but they're maybe in public or they're putting kids to bed, like anything where they can't actually have the sound on, they are going to just close your story because they can't watch it. They have no idea what you're saying. Right? Whereas if you have captions on, people can still keep watching because it actually hooks you in. When you can see the words, it makes you want to just like finish it, right? Because you want to see what it's saying. Even when I hear it, I still find myself watching the captions. So they're funny sometimes too. Sometimes it'll like put the wrong word because it doesn't hear you properly, and they can get quite interesting. I remember one time I had a bunch of people message me and be like, your caption was swearing at people, but you didn't swear. Like, it's like, it can get iffy, but it's kind of fun and it gets you views. So, yeah, that's my next one, is put captions on your videos, because truly it helps a lot. Okay. Does anybody have questions about any of that so far, or are we doing good? Okay, perfect. Okay. Oh, we have more people in the waiting room. Don't know them either. They're gonna wait. Okay. Oh, did I skip one? I did. Okay, now we're gonna go over some tips for how to use it for your business. So what I mean by business specific is ambassadors, because I'm telling you guys, 99% of my enrollments come from my stories. whether I message them first or like regardless of how I started that connection with them, when they see a story, that is almost always when people swipe up and be like, okay, I'm ready, or I need this. That's when people really commit, is from my stories. So it is huge for your business. And that's why I really want to help people, understand how to make them and be consistent with it. So showing your face daily should be a non-negotiable. You guys, this is something most people have probably heard me say this before, but I will never not say it. It is literally my one thing a day that I force myself to do. I don't care what I look like. I don't care what kind of mood I'm in. My face has to be out there every day, because that's how you build relationships from your stories. That's what builds the trust in other people. Because if you are always looking perfect and you only ever show your face working your business when you feel like you look good enough, that's what you portray to other people, is that they have to be good enough to work their business. They have to, be all put together in order to make content or make stories. Like, we don't want that. You want people to watch your stories and be like, wow, look at her killing it, when like she probably hasn't even showered in a week and her kids are going crazy and her house is a mess, but she's still making money. That's when people are like, oh, I can do that too, because it's relatable. Okay. So your face out there every single day should be a non-negotiable. Okay. Another one is sharing wins that you or your team are having. So if you get texts about enrollments, put that on your story. Promotions, you should absolutely be sharing stories of people promoting. And when you post them, put little words on there, like saying how much money that is for that person. Don't like just share if it doesn't have income or anything on it. People aren't going to understand that outside of the business. So put a little text box on there that says how much money that is for that person and what that's going to do for them. That will make people be like, oh, she's got people winning. She has people making money. So make sure you explain to the people that have no idea what that rank means, what that just did for that person. Okay. It could even be positive messages in chats. So for example, I've had people go into my chat and be like, I can't believe how different this is and how much more I just feel like heard and loved. Like, you should be screenshotting and adding those little blurbs into your stories. People need to see that. Okay. So all of these things, just take screenshots, crop the picture so that it's like just the thing you're showing, and then add it to your story. Okay. Does anybody not know how to copy and paste a picture onto your story? It's super easy. There's 2 different ways. But if anybody doesn't, that's something I can walk you guys through right now. Screenshot. Yeah. So like, you do not. Okay. So what we're going to do is, I wonder if I can show you without. Okay. Hold on. I'm just going to check if I actually like lift my phone out. Okay, let's see if I see. No, you can't read that. Okay, we're going to screen share for a second here then. And I'm going to claim host. Okay. You are the host. Alrighty. Now I'm going to screen share for you guys. Okay, you ready for this? Hopefully this works. Yes, it's working. Yay. Okay, so what I'm going to show you guys is how to get this stuff on your stories. Okay, we're just going to use this random picture I found for a cute collagen story. You can click this smiley face thing at the top here. Okay, I make all my stories on Instagram, and I'll go a little bit more in detail on that in a second. But this smiley face thing at the top, that's where you find the question boxes or the polls, or you can add music, you can add a link, like all of the things are in here. Okay. This circle right here, see this one right here between the support small business and countdown. When you click that, it's adding a picture from your camera roll. So you can literally, I'm just using the same one again, just to keep it easy for you guys. Pick the one you want to use, and you can literally just add it on top of that picture then. So you can literally take a cute picture of yourself with one of the filters, and then go in and add a screenshot of something that your team said to make it look like you're working your business right now. Or on a Zoom, that's a good example too. You could take a picture of you on the Zoom, or like a boomerang of the screen or whatever, And then if you get some amazing review about a training, put the picture on top of that to show people like, yeah, we just did a training and look what people are saying about it. Like things like that to really just add it on top. Okay, which one it is? Yes. Okay, so it is. So this sticker button at the top, and then it is this circle right here. So it'll show your last picture in your camera roll. That's why mine is just like words, because that it's a screenshot of an email. Okay, so whatever your last picture is, you're going to see the preview for it on that circle. Okay, so that's how you add pictures. Now, wonder if I just thought of something that might make this really smart. What if I can just do this whole thing from my phone? Nope, that's the wrong slideshow though. That was last week's. Hold on. Stories. Oh, look at this. I'm getting all smart up in here. Okay. I figured it out halfway through the Zoom. Okay. Another thing you can do is giving options again. So what I mean by that is, again, the slider, the button, the polls. When you're talking about the business, add something like that so that people who are interested have a way to show you, and put that in text. You will see me do that all the time. I have one up right now if you need to go see it. So I will literally say, click this button for info on what I did, or slide the, what do I say? Like pull the slider if you want info on how to make an extra income, anything like that. Okay. So that's a big tip. And then talking about objections. This is definitely one a little bit more advanced, but it is really, really good if you want to sign business-minded people. So what I mean by that is go in your stories and take a video of you talking and talk about the common objections that people have, such as, I don't have time to do this. So make a story talking about how anybody could make this a priority and fit it in. Talk about our systems. If you have somebody that messages you and is like, oh, these products are way overpriced, like you can literally turn any negative message you get into an objection to then go into your story and talk about how our products are made by doctors and naturopaths and they're medical grade, and you won't find that anywhere else. Like you can literally turn anything into a story that addresses it, so that the people watching it, probably also the person who sent it, sees it and is like, oh dang, I got called out, but also that's a good point. It works so good, you guys, so good, especially on the business aspect. So especially the things of like no experience is a good one too. Talk about how we help you, we'll show you what to do. You don't have to be a professional at this. Like talk about those things. It's so important. Okay. And you can make posts too. If you're not, that's a really good way to, if you're like trying to figure out what to post in a day and you don't know what to post, take an objection and turn it into a post. That's like the best way to get a really good business post. Okay. We already went through this one, share the relatable things, but then do it business wise as well. So like I mentioned, if you're on the couch in your pajamas, cuddling with your kids, take pictures, talk about how you're making money while doing that. That is relatable. You might feel like you're not doing anything big or important right now, or, it's not doing anything for your business. But if you show something as simple as you spending time with your kids and be like, I'm making an extra income while being present with my family right now, or I can't believe this is my life that I get to bring in an extra $500 while hanging out with my baby. Like things like that are so relatable. You don't even know. That literally relates to probably over half the planet. So get out of your head and just do the simple things. Like truly every single thing that you feel like is not good enough for a story, that's probably how most people in the world feel about everything. So just share it and talk about it, and you're going to get more. Yeah, honestly, I was like, should I say that? But yeah, I should. It's probably more relatable than the people who are making a ton of money, or, they're on like even being on Equity Council, for example, you guys, I had so many people message me and be like, I don't know what that means, but congrats. And it really just humbled me to be like, you know what? That is so true though, because people outside of the company, that's too far fetched for them to be like, oh, I want to be on a council and work with the owners. I want to make thousands of dollars. But if they see you saying, I made an extra $500 while I was hanging out with my kids, That's everything. That's everything. Okay. So nothing is too small. Literally show you doing nothing at all and tell them how you're making money while doing it. Okay. Okay, we have 15 minutes. Okay, gotta wrap this up. Use QFit. This has been helping me so much, you guys. Use the QFit app because it's literally the biggest business tool. It is not just for you to do the workouts. This is something I have had like the hugest aha moment recently as I've started to do them, and I've started putting them in my posts, and I've started offering people the free trial. Because if you don't know, we have a free 10-day trial we can give people. That's huge. Talk about how anybody who partners with you or orders products gets a free fitness trainer that they get to use. There's also going to be recipes to make their life easier. If there's moms that need help, we got super easy but super healthy recipes made by naturopaths. We have macro counters, habit trackers, like everything. We need to talk about that, you guys, because if you get people even on the free 10-day trial, that's so easy to follow up with them and be like, oh my gosh, did you love it? And if they love it, guess what? They have two options. They become an ambassador, they get it for the year, or they order products and they keep ordering as a customer so that it keeps unlocking that app for them and they're hooked. And now you have an enrollment. So talk about that. Do your workout every day. I'm serious. It is helping so much. Do your workout and show you did it. I personally, usually I don't like showing the huge like picture of it usually. So what I'll do is I'll take a picture of me and then I'll use that last tip I just showed you where I then add the QFit picture in and just make it a little bit smaller over top. So it's not just like a big picture that they don't really get, but I'm explaining it, right? It's a picture of me, even if I'm sweaty. Look, I did my workout. Can't believe I got a free fitness trainer. Like so effective. Okay. So do that. And then last one, kind of mentioned this again already, but share the Zooms or trainings you're on. Talk about the support, the mentorship, the proximity, like anything you're doing, you need to talk about that. When it's on Zooms, you need to say, you partner with council members who help you. That word is huge, you guys. Council members. Kristen was the one who taught me that because before, like she was my council member, right? Like she's everybody's council member. Use those words because it will bring in business-minded people that are like, oh, that's big. Okay. So talk about how you have council members that help you to learn how to work your business and they help your people. Not upline. That's a good question. Honestly, ever since leaving my last company, I do not use the word upline. Mentors is good. I use mentors. That's a good one. Or business partners, but not upline. No, a lot of people will see that and right away be like, oh, she's in an MLM, and they'll peace out because it makes it seem like a line, right? And that's not what we want to do. So try to use words such as mentors, business partners, council members, or just things like that. I find it very much more effective. Okay. Last one was just a few tips for a product that, I was like clicking my computer. I was like, why is that working? Forgot I switched to my phone. Okay. Now I'll just give you a few ones for story posts. Okay. Or not post stories, but you know what I mean. Attaching your link. I have found that helps a lot. I saw that on other top leaders and started doing it myself. Okay. So if you guys don't know how to do that, what you're going to do, you're going to get your link first of all. So you're going to go in here. You're going to pretend you're signing a customer, make it customer, share link, copy link. Okay. Boom, done. You have your customer link. Now, look, it's even a story for collagen. I can go back to this thing. Okay. Hit link. Boom. And now paste my link and then you can change what it says. So I'm going to put search for collagen here. And I think there's even like a spoon. Yeah, there's even a spoon emoji. Look at that. Boom. Now, anybody watching my stories where I just talked about collagen, for example, they now have a link to go if they want to buy it or if they just want to search your website. You might get messages being like, okay, I saw this and this. What is this? Like, it literally is an open invitation for people to go see all the incredible products you have. And I know some companies, cancel. Hold on. They'll tell you, not to put your link out there and whatnot. but I definitely am quite the opposite. I'm like, I want people to see what we have, because when people do check out our website, they come to me and they're like, you have so many good options, or I need this or this. Like, to me, it is not a negative to let people see all their options. It is very, very good for your business. So I will always put the link when talking about products. Okay. Again, interactive objects. If you are talking about a product, do not leave it open-ended. That's how I think of it, is if you're talking about something and you do not give them like an out on like what to do if they're interested, like to click something for info, or, you know, to vote on this poll for what goals you have. Like, if you don't leave anything like that, you literally could have just got so much interest, but you left it open-ended because you didn't give them anything to do with it. So now you just have interested people that might not message you, they might not tell you they were interested, and you didn't give them a reason to say anything about it. Okay. So it's huge. Honestly, it is a huge reason that I sign so many people for my stories, is because anytime I talk about the business or products, there is always something, and almost always there is at least one person that clicks it. Like, let's go check. Hold on. Because I did that. So I talked about Easter first. Okay, so you'll see there, interactive. I also, oh, that's a good one I can teach you guys. Do you guys know how to move the words? That's something a lot of people don't know. Let me show you really, really, really quick. So if I go in here and I type, I'll just do super simple, just to show you guys. Collagen, okay? The top right A up here. See how there's different ones? This one gives you color and font. The right one, moves your words. And so each one does something different. So this one types it. Or if I switch it to this one, see, so each one has a different effect. So you can't pick it for each font. Like, it automatically does what that font does. But I love some of them. So like this one, you will see me do type ones a lot. I think that looks so cool when you have something typing your words on your story. Okay. So just this right A up at the top. Oh, I was showing you my stories. Hold on. I'm such a squirrel brain. Sorry, guys. Okay. So interactive. Okay. We got a poll, we got moving words. You can also search so many different things. These are all just like sidebars, I know, but I want you guys to see all the things I do. Okay. So you can, again, go back up here. This is something a lot of people don't know. Again, use this search bar and you can literally search for anything. So some that I use a lot is line. And so I'll pick a cute line to like underline the things that I'm saying, right? So you could go like this, like, boom, done. Or if I put like a screenshot of something, I will sometimes search the word tape. And then there's really cute moving things of like tape. So you can tape the corners to make it look all cute. What's another one I do? Square or rectangle. They'll give you outlines for things like that go around it. They can move, they can blink. Like, there's just so many, like glitter, sparkles. I won't keep searching like all the things, but like literally any word, hearts, flowers, Easter, like anything that you are making a story about, there is cute things you can use in this search bar. Okay. So do that. I love doing it. It makes your stories look cute. Okay. So again, video, and then again, interactive. There is a question box. Okay. And then, okay, today I did the big one because it goes with the post I was doing. Okay. So 50, and then I showed my results, and then you will see here, click for info on what I did. So people have to click if they want to know any details about that, right? So, okay, so there's one so far. I will take it because that was my last recent story. So that's already a potential I now have that I can go back to and give them info, right? And then actually this pink is another thing I can show you guys. This is something I'll do a lot in my stories as well. So how I did this, you guys, you go to add your story, click the top right and hit draw. Okay, you guys following, you hit draw, and then hit the marker. It has to be marker, not pencil. It only works on marker. And then you pick your color. So you could do pink. I often use gray a lot though too. So it's like darker. And then you just hold it down, hold down the picture, and it colors the entire picture. Boom. Now I have like a shadowed picture so that when I go to type over top of it, it's like 3D. it's not so bright of a picture that it's hard to see what you wrote. It actually shows more about what you're saying. Okay. So again, marker, hold it down, and that's all you do. And then it colors the whole picture. I love doing that. Okay. So where were we at here? Okay. Show you making them and using them. Don't use stock pictures. Okay. Yes, you can use there's like cute Pinterest stories. That's not what I'm saying. Those work good. But like if you're going to do a post or a story about the tea, don't just post a stock photo of the detox tea and be like, yeah, this helps your bloating. Like, no, take a video of you using it, show you actually drinking it, talk about how good it makes you feel. Or while it's in, like what's it called? The kettle, and you have it like steeping, like make a cute one of that with a filter, do like a little boomerang of it and have words on there about the benefits. You can even go into your ARQ app, pull up the product slide for that, and then do those other tips I talked about. Screenshot the fact sheet, crop it to exactly what you're wanting to show with all the benefits. So you don't even have to worry about typing it or being the one to share all that info. Just put the little fact sheet over top. And then all you have to type is, I cannot get enough of this, or this makes me feel incredible, with like a little button for them to hit. That's as simple as you guys can make it. It's just add screenshots with the benefits on it. Boom, done. Right? So don't use like blurry stock pictures or anything you're seeing online. Like make your own, because that is going to get you so many more views. And then of course, if there's one you don't have, yes, there's cute Pinterest stories. So I'm not saying don't do that. Those are fine. But I'm just saying, like, don't use a very obviously stolen picture from something. Yeah, talk about how you feel. Okay, so just a few more things and then we will end this. So tips to simplify. Oh, and then it goes into my last week's one. I forgot to delete slides. Okay. One thing that I do that you guys can do to save time for yourselves is connect your IG and Facebook stories. If you don't know how to do that, it is, see if I can find it. It's somewhere in your settings. Account. I don't know. Might have to figure this out after for you guys, but it's somewhere in your settings. There is a way to then connect your other accounts to your Instagram, so that when you post in your Instagram stories, it then also automatically posts to your Facebook stories. So you don't have to do both. I used to just like post on Instagram, save them all to my camera roll, and then go post on Facebook. And it's way too much time. So yeah, it's somewhere in here. I'll look after as well. But yeah, just search through there. There should be a way to hit like connected accounts, something like that. And then you can just connect your Facebook. It's so simple. Okay.
It was right there. You just passed it. It just says share to other account. Okay, go back one more. Go down. It says share to other account.
Where?
Okay, so you were clicking so fast.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. It does. It says share to other account, and it does make it really simple.
Okay, well, we will we'll find that after for you guys, just because we are running out of time. But yeah, so it's on there and it makes it so easy, you guys. So yeah, connect those so you don't have to worry about it. And you don't have to use this tip, but I make all my stories on Instagram. I find the Facebook ones are so much tackier. The fonts are uglier. There's not as much options. The quality is worse. Like, just make them on Instagram. They're so much nicer. And then when you connect them, it's just so easy. So I make all of them on Instagram, all of them. I will just add my picture in. I'll add my font in. I'll, do cool stuff with it. You can add GIFs, add pictures, all of the things. It is so simple when you play around with it, you guys. Once you really just try adding in these things, you'll get the hang of it right away. But yeah, connect them and just make everything on Instagram. There's so many apps that you can use and that a lot of people will recommend, and that's fine. If you like using extra apps to make, you know, all these extra stories, go for it. But I know for me, when I start getting too detail oriented, I'm like, oh, I want this one to look, you know, different. I just get overwhelmed with all the different apps and, you know, doing different things. So I personally just find it makes my business so simple if all I ever do when I go to add to my story is just quickly go to my Instagram story and just add to it. Done. It's already on both, right? So you don't have to take that tip, but definitely it saves time and it is easy and you can make them look really nice. I can't even tell you guys how many times I have people reply to my stories and be like, oh my gosh, what app do you make these on? How do you make your stories? And every time I'm like, I literally just use Instagram. I just use what Instagram gives us. That's all it is. So just play around with it. And yeah, so let me stop broadcasting. Does anybody else have any questions about any of this? I think I answered all the ones I saw in the chat, but I'll give you guys a minute to ask before we do the QIQ. I have to make this one the host. No. All right. Okay. Well, if everybody gets it, go try those out. Let me know if they help you. Hopefully that helped with not only just some tips on views, but also on how to actually make the stories, because it's so easy once you get the hang of it. I promise you, the first time it might be a little bit difficult. You might get a little bit overwhelmed, but I promise the more you just get consistent with it and you really make it a goal to just do it and get good at it, it's so easy. Literally, stories are the majority of my business. I'm not joking. Like, yes, I reach out to people. Yes, I make posts. Yes, I need to be better at reels. I need to spend more time on reels. I know that for a fact, but I spend the most time being in my stories and making sure I'm making videos of my face in there and that my story content is full. Like, that is my priority. If you were to ask me, like, if we were to all only have one thing we could do for our business ever, mine would be my stories. And I would still probably get enrollments because that's how much I get a lot of views because I pour into it, right? And that's what'll happen with you guys. If you're, you know, somebody who you're not getting views, like it's not really working for you, it's because you haven't really dived into it yet. I promise. If you really focus on putting good content into your stories and, you know, just sharing the fun things and being authentic, you will have people that watch. I promise you. And it will grow and grow and grow. And yeah, that's about it. So if you're not staying for the QIQ, feel free to